All right, let's talk about something every parent knows, that middle of the night cough. It's one of the most stressful sounds, isn't it? So we're going to dive in and try to sort through all the noise.
Yeah, it's that moment, right? You're standing there, leaning over the crib or the bed, just listening. And you're wondering, what is that sound? Is it just a little tickle in their throat? Or is this the start of something that we really need to pay attention to?
Well, that's exactly what we're here to do. In the next few minutes, we're going to give you the tools to know the difference. We'll break down the most common issues so you can feel way more confident about what you're hearing and, more importantly, what to do next.
Okay, first things first. Let's tackle that big question that I'm sure every parent asks. Why is my kid always sick? It can feel so overwhelming, but here's the thing. It is completely 100% normal, and there's actually a really simple biological reason for it.
So take a look at this comparison. It really boils down to two things. First, a kid's airways, they're just tiny. They're so much smaller and narrower than ours. And second, their immune system is basically a trainee. It's still learning the ropes. So you put those two things together and you've got the perfect storm for getting sick. I mean, even a little bit of swelling in those tiny airways can cause a huge problem, way more than it would for us.
All right, so let's talk about our first specific illness. This is one that has a really, really distinctive sound. And honestly, it can be pretty scary to hear. We're talking about croup. So, what in the world is croup? Well, the key thing to know is that it's all about swelling in the upper part of the airway. Think voice box, windpipe, that area. It's almost always caused by a virus, which is an important point. This is not pneumonia, which is down in the lungs. Croup is an upper airway thing, and it mostly hits kids between 6 months and 3 years old, for the exact reason we just talked about. Their airways are just so small that any swelling has a big effect. Okay, so here's what you need to listen for. The cough, it is unmistakable. It's not a normal cough. People say it sounds like a barking seal, and they are not kidding. You might also hear a really raspy, hoarse voice, and sometimes you'll hear this high-pitched whistling sound when they breathe in. That's called stridor. And of course, for some reason, it's like a rule that it always gets worse at night. Now, this is so important. This is what you need to look for, not just listen for. If you lift up their shirt and you see the skin sucking in, either above their collarbone or in between their ribs with every single breath, that's a sign called retractions. It means they are working really hard to breathe, and that is your cue to get medical help right away. The good news is, for milder cases, there are some things you can do at home that work surprisingly well. You can try bundling them up and taking them outside into the cool night air for a few minutes, or you can go in the bathroom, shut the door, and crank up the hot shower to create a little steam room. The whole idea is to use either cool or moist air to help calm down that swelling in their airway and ease that awful cough. Okay, now let's shift gears to the, let's face it, bread and butter of childhood sickness, the good old common cold and the dreaded sore throat. I mean, the common cold is, well, it's common. Did you know the average little kid can get 8 to 10 colds a year? It's wild, and it's caused by all these different viruses, which is why it feels like as soon as they get over one, another one starts. You know the drill, runny nose, congestion, sneezing, maybe a low fever. But here is the number one thing to remember. Antibiotics do not work on colds. Colds are caused by viruses. Antibiotics fight bacteria. They just won't do a thing.
Okay, but what about sore throats? Because not all sore throats are the same, and this is a really important difference. You've got your viral sore throat, which usually just tags along with other cold symptoms. But then you have strep throat. That one's bacterial, and it tends to hit like a ton of bricks. Super sudden, really painful, often with a high fever, and sometimes you can even see white spots on their tonsils. Knowing the difference is absolutely critical because how you treat them is night and day.
And please, please listen to this. This is so crucial. If your child gets diagnosed with strep throat and the doctor gives you antibiotics, they have to finish the entire bottle, every single dose. I know they might start feeling better after a couple of days, but if you stop early, some of that tough bacteria can stick around and cause really serious problems later, like rheumatic fever. You've got to finish the course. All right, next up, something that can look super dramatic and cause a lot of panic, but is usually no big deal at all, the classic nosebleed. The fancy medical name is epistaxis, but we all just call it a nosebleed. And yeah, they can look pretty scary with all the blood, but the most important thing to remember is that 9 times out of 10, the cause is totally harmless. It's usually just dry air, especially in the winter, or maybe allergies, or even just, a finger going where it shouldn't. Now, how do you stop one? First rule, forget that old advice about tilting your head back. Do not do that. You want them to sit up and lean forward so the blood doesn't go down their throat. Then, you're going to pinch the soft part of their nose, both sides, and you need to hold that pressure for a solid 10 to 15 minutes. And don't peek, just hold it. And, try to stay calm yourself. If you're calm, they'll be calmer.
So we've gone through a bunch of the whats. Let's wrap up with a summary of the hows. Think of this as your basic home care toolkit for when your kid gets sick. You starting to see a pattern here? For almost all of these things, the basics are what matter most. We're talking fluids, and more fluids to keep everything moving. A cool mist humidifier to keep the air from getting too dry. Lots of hand washing so the whole family doesn't go down. And just good old-fashioned rest. You've got to let their little bodies have a chance to fight it off.
Look, if there is one single thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. No matter what illness we're talking about, if your child looks like they are struggling to breathe, that is a red flag. If you see those retractions we mentioned, or they're breathing super fast, or their nostrils are flaring out with each breath, that is always, always your cue to get medical help immediately. Don't wait. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important point. At the end of the day, you are the expert on your child. No video, no website, no guide can replace your parental gut instinct. You know them better than anyone. So if something just feels off, if you're worried, trust that feeling. Never, ever feel bad about calling your doctor or a nurse advice line. When in doubt, just make the call.